I don't think there's ever been a time in the history of human beings where it's been this challenging for the average person to be good, to be a good person, to be an upstanding citizen, to do the right thing, to hold high level of ethics and a code. Because everywhere we look, the opposite is pushed and celebrated. Mainstream media, society pushes the opposite. You look at everybody, even like friend groups and all that, everything is just live for the weekend, right? All the stuff that we know is debauchery. You get clapped and cheered upon now if you do wicked things. We champion people who are just absolute like degenerates. Turning the other cheek, saying no, turning down temptation. Now, you don't get any brownie points. You get no recognition for it. You get called boring. You get called a loser for doing what objectively many people would say is the right thing. So this is what I want to discuss today, because long term, that's what wins. The people who are being rewarded now, the people who are doing well spiritually, emotionally, financially, relationally, friendship wise, are the people who are doing the right thing and being good, right? Whatever we want to officially label that term as, being good. But you have to look at it the right way. There's temptation everywhere. I look at it all the time. I've met with clients, right? I'm going to give you many examples. I've met with clients who just signed off on everything, where I could have charged them 10% commission or more, and they would have never known and complained, and I could have made extra money. But I didn't do it. Those people that were in a rush to sign, I always slow them down and say, hey, let's slow down. Let's take a breath. Let's go through and let me tell you exactly what you're signing and highlighting certain things. It'll be quick, but let's take it step by step and not just rush. At the store, you could literally get away with stuff at the self-checkout. I see other people do it all the time where they don't scan items and, they undercharge, right? Their bill maybe would be $50. They only ring up 20, $30. Like, I see it all the time. Could I do it? Sure, but I don't. Because I would feel bad if I walked out knowing that, man, I stole that. I should have paid for it. I have a conscience. I have females that are in relationships and married in my DMs. Shit, I've been out the last couple of days and just seeing how some women look at me when they're with their man. If I wanted to be that dude, I could. But I'm not going to do that. Now, I'm not a saint in my life. I've made mistakes for sure. But I know long term, for me to live a cleaner life, a better life, being a good person. That's my definition of it. Not giving into temptation and not just doing things because it's the cool thing to do. Following vanity and all these other things that are just surface level for most people. So I really ask people all the time, what are you doing? Are you living by that code? Because for us to create change and say, hey, I would like to identify that or see that in other people, you first have to start with you. And even if everyone else is not following suit, you still do it. I see this all the time. Like, take a look at the sales and real estate industries. Well, if I don't give in, the next guy, see, it just gets passed down. Like in my industry of real estate, it's common that people will cut their fees to try to get a deal or take a listing, a home for sale, and just take it at a super high price just to get the person to sign. And the argument is, well, if I don't do it, I don't want to do that, but if I don't do that, then the next person's going to do it. Well, then nothing's ever going to change. Which is why our reputation is in shambles, which is why nothing changes. We have to get to the point of understanding where if we hit a point where more and more people are good, we will shift things. And the people who maybe don't want to be good will almost in a way be forced to be good because the lion's share of other people are good. And now that mechanism is going to flip, where now the people who aren't good or do evil things or are involved in debauchery get, cheered for right now. That'll flip and they'll be shamed and they're not going to want to do that because the majority is doing the right thing. Now, all of us objectively, even if we, again, objectively from the outside, all of us, I'm sure, would have varying degrees of what we define a good person is. But there's going to be certain things that objectively most people are going to agree on, like not stealing, not hurting other people, that kind of stuff, right? So that's really what I'm I'm focused on here. I don't want to get into the battle of, oh, well, it's this one thing and I don't agree. Forget that. We're just saying good in general. Doing right by others, not doing things behind people's back, right? Not being deceitful, like all the things that nobody would want done to them, and they would want to know that the next person won't do it. Now, will we ever hit a point where 100% of people follow that code? No. But if we can get more and more people and a larger percentage of people in society to abide by that, or at least honor that code, things will change in a very, very positive way, for sure. But this video is more focused on you because I have temptation around me all the time, whether it's business-wise, with the opposite sex, but I don't partake in it. And I hit a point a long time ago where I realized many things. Because I used to engage in some debauchery back in the day. And again, like I told you, I'm no saint. But I hit a point where I said, I'm tired of the feeling of guilt. I wouldn't want these things done to me. And these things start weighing on your heart as a person. And that's something I realized even at a young age. I don't want a heavy heart because I know later on in life, it's going to come back. Whatever you believe in, right? Karma, right? Doesn't matter. Divine justice. These things will always come back. But at the end of the day, a quote that I read a long time ago always stuck with me. I think somebody told me this and then I ended up reading it in books, right? Who you really are is when nobody's looking. And that really stuck with me because I said, man, not only is that so true, but also now me being a leader and I coach, thousands of people and I have a, real estate team that's nationwide and a ton of people who follow me and look up to me too. And even here locally, I help a lot of people. I'm that figure for people. How hypocritical would it be for me to not hold myself to that standard and then expect that of other people? So I know that who I am behind closed doors is who I really am. Cool, I'm going to hold myself to that higher standard. But now that I'm a leader and I am that example for people and I'm pushing people to be better and do good and be good, how can I do that if I myself am not good? That doesn't make any sense. And I think that's the reason right now that the internet and social media is in shambles. There's a lot of false prophets and people who say a certain thing here on video, but then behind closed doors, they're not like that. Like I've told you guys, I've lost count of how many of the influencers I've met over the years who, as soon as you turn the camera off, they're degenerates, they're assholes, right? They're a certain persona when the camera's on, and then they're a totally different person when the camera's off. And I knew it was that way because I believe I'm one of the few people who, like, how I am on camera is how I am on person, but I don't have to fake the funk. But that, again, goes under the definition of me being a good dude, a good person. But see, that's why the internet and a lot of people are kind of taken aback by that now. A lot of people are starting to realize, even though it's taken a long time, that a lot of these people are not good people. They're just putting on an act and a front, and it's made a lot of people skeptical about stuff. Rightly so, to a degree. I've had people question me, which is fine. I'm like, hey, if a lot of the stuff that you see out there is BS, I can't be upset that you would look at me and think the same thing, that I'm a grifter or fake or whatever it is. So as much as those types of comments and things are annoying, I can understand and empathize why somebody would look at me who doesn't know me and assume that, of course. But when everywhere they look, the average person that they're following or looking at or talking to and dealing with isn't a good person, of course, the average person, again, is going to go to the next person and assume that they're not good, right? You see how this has like a domino effect? If you come across 100 people and everyone yells at you or is mean, you're going to expect person number 101 to be mean. It's human nature, right? So it is challenging today because when you look at it, there's no reward. Me being a good person and being real got me shunned, kicked offline. Again, that's just being honest, right? I had to switch companies. I had to walk away from like $1 million a year that I'm still rebuilding right now, right? It wasn't all my income, but it was a good chunk of it. And I'm rebuilding that as we speak. I've had people leave me. I've had the internet spread falsehoods and lies about me for years. Why? being a good person and standing on principle is literally why. Because I didn't give in to the BS. I didn't fall for the fads. I didn't just do stuff just to do it. I didn't jump on all these little trends or do this and do that. I called out bullshit when I saw it. I didn't associate with certain people, even though, oh man, you're following. No. Why do you guys think that, especially my channel with 200,000 subscribers, how many times did you see me actually interview somebody or vouch for people? Like, oh, I've coached with this guy, or oh, I know this dude, he's good. It was maybe a handful of times over 10 years that I was on that channel before I moved to this one and had to start over. All the product offerings that I got from my old channel, which I never took because I didn't know them. I could have done all that for money, but I'm a good person. I'm just going to put stuff out for money. Kidding me? Same thing with the vetting process to get on my team and all that. I want to make sure it's not about quantity, it's about quality. We need good people. This is why the people that are on my stuff are so loyal. They've been vetted. We're not just taking anybody. So this also applies to like your friendship circles and how you live your life, but understand that the long-term reward for being a good person is worth it. You have a clean slate, your heart isn't heavy, your mind is clear, you're relaxed, it's peaceful, it's tranquil, you don't have to look over your back, you're not worried about lies that you say and who you've told a lie to who. That will stress you, age you, destroy you. And most people are caught up in that. Think about how many people you guys know, like during the holidays, that spend money that they don't have to try to impress people or buy gifts for people that they don't even care about, so on and so forth. Because we're coming up into the holidays here starting in about a month or month and a half. It gets wild. It gets wild. And again, there's no immediate reward. There's no dopamine hit or quick satisfaction in being a good person. But at the end of the day, you will attract the right people and better people in your life. From a career standpoint, you'll do a lot better long term. And again, in the end, you're going to win. Everyone else is going to lose because they're chasing something that's an illusion. And the good people will thrive in the end. Even if it feels like temporarily things aren't good. You'll win long term, and that's really what it's about. Because it's not about what happens today or tomorrow or in a couple of weeks from now. Where are you going to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? The good people will live to see those days with a smile on their face. The other people, not so much. I mean, take a look. I'm sure you guys know a ton of people who were assholes, this and that. In the end, karma wins. Will a few of them get away with it? Probably. But that's the exception to the rule. All these people that, peaked in high school or college or whatever it is, and now we're all 40 plus or, whatever age bracket you're in, well, take a look long term. The people who are good people back in the day that maybe got picked on and bullied, they're probably doing well right now. And the people who were assholes and taking advantage of them 10, 20 years later, they're not doing so good. Or not as good as those other people, right? So understand that this is the tougher road, but it's a more fulfilling and more rewarding road for you, for me, and for everybody who engages in it. So if you're a good person, leave a thumbs up and a comment and let us know and encourage the next person, because this type of stuff I think is what's most important and the type of information that we need to discuss and spread a little bit more. All right. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.